Recording in progress.
Hi guys, good evening. All are getting my screen and voice. Please confirm. Sorry. Right guys, in last session, so we started our discussion about Agile methodology. We started our discussion about Agile methodology in last session. I think you guys got some clarity about so what is waterfall methodology, how the process will happen in waterfall methodology, how the process will happen in Agile methodology, right? So still we need to talk some more about Agile methodology. See here, see guys, this is the Agile methodology diagram. See guys, here multiple phases are available at here. Multiple phases are there in Agile methodology. See guys, first one is what? Planning, design, development, testing, release, feedback. This is the continuous process in Agile, guys. This is the continuous process in Agile. Once you deliver the project to client, we need to take the feedback from the client, guys. Whether client is happy or not, we need to take the feedback from the client. If client suggests any changes, again we need to implement those changes at here, and again we need to release. Right? If client satisfaction is compulsory required, guys, then only we can run our business successfully. If client section satisfaction is not there, we can't able to run our business. Right? Clear, guys? Multiple phases. This is the continuous process. But if you go with waterfall methodology, that is not continuous process, guys. That is not continuous. At the end only we are going to deliver the project to client in waterfall methodology. But coming to this Agile, not like that. Right? Continuous delivery is happening at here. Right, guys? So what are the requirements given by the client? So we are going to deliver those requirements as multiple sprints wise. See guys, if you see this diagram, you guys will get the clarity. See here, whatever the clients are giving the requirement, so that requirement we are going to divide into multiple sprints. So this is the sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3, guys. The entire requirement we are going to divide into multiple sprints. Suppose client is given 100 requirements. 100 requirements client given, guys. So these 100 requirements I am going to deliver as 3 sprints, guys. This 100 requirements I am going to deliver as 3 sprints. 3 sprints. Right? Each sprint I will deliver. See, in first sprint I will deliver 30 requirements. Right? And second sprint, guys, please mute. First sprint I will deliver 30 requirements, and in second sprint I will deliver 35 requirements, and in third sprint I will deliver 35 requirements. So like this we need to plan, guys. Each sprint how many requirements we need to deliver, that we need to plan first. Guys, client has given total 100 requirements. We are not going to deliver all 100 requirements at a time. We are not going to deliver 100 requirements at a time. What we are going to do, this 100 requirements we are going to divide into multiple sprints. we are going to deliver these 100 requirements sprints wise, multiple sprints wise. In first sprint, I will deliver 30 requirements. In second sprint, I will deliver 35 requirements. In third sprint, I will deliver 35 requirements, like this, guys. Right? First, guys, our team is working on 30 requirements only. Out of 100 requirements, 30 requirements, first 30 requirements, our team is working. Right? Again here, in first sprint, again, we have all the phases: planning, design, development, testing, right, review, delivery, right, review, launch, feedback, all the phases. Each sprint, we have all the phases, guys. Here, whatever we discussed here, see guys, whatever we discussed, first one is what? Planning. Next one is what? Design. Next one is what? Develop, testing, release, feedback. For each sprint, all these phases are available. Once first sprint, suppose I want to start the first sprint, for that we need to do the planning. First sprint, we need to do the design, we need to do the development, testing, release. Right, once a release is completed, we need to take the feedback from the client. Right, whether client is happy with the first sprint or not. If a client suggests any changes, we need to do those changes. Then only client will feel more happy. Right, once first sprint is completed successfully, client also happy with the first sprint, then we will start the second sprint. Guys. One sprint is nothing but what, guys? Here we can say one sprint is nothing but one release. One sprint is nothing but one release, guys. First release. One sprint is nothing but one release, we are calling it here. Right? For each sprint, we have all these phases. For each sprint, we have below all phases. What phases are there, guys? First one is planning. Second one is design. Third one is development. Fourth one is testing. Fourth one is testing. Fifth one is deployment. Sixth one is review. Next one is launch. So like this, for each sprint we have all these phases. Guys, please have a look into this. Client has given total 100 requirements. We are not going to deliver all these 100 requirements at a time. What we are doing, we are going to split these 100 requirements into multiple sprints. I'm going to divide these 100 requirements into 3 sprints. In first sprint, I will complete 30 requirements. In second sprint, I will complete 35 requirements. In third sprint, I will complete 35 requirements, guys. Each sprint is called as what? Release. Each sprint is called as what? Release, guys. Right, see. First we are delivering the first sprint means first release completed. Second sprint means second release completed. Third release we are delivering means third release also completed. Right, for each sprint we have to follow all these phases, guys. For each sprint, so these are the common phases we need to follow. First one, planning we need to do. Second one, design we need to do. Third one, development we need to do. Testing we need to do. Deploy we need to do. Review we need to do. Launch we need to do. Then we need to get the feedback from the client. If a client is happy, if there is no changes are suggested by the client, then happily we can go with second sprint. We can go for second sprint. If a client suggested any changes, we need to do those changes. Then only client will become more happy. Right? One sprint is nothing but what? One release. Understood, guys? Once first sprint is completed, client will see the project, guys. We need to show the project to client. Once first sprint is completed, we will go for the second sprint. Again in second sprint we have all these phases. Again in second sprint also we have all these phases. Right? Again, once second sprint is completed, again I need to take the feedback from the client. Right? We need to ask to the client, hey client, are you happy with my work? Are you happy with my work? Do you want to do any changes? Right? So we need to check with the client, guys. 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. Fine. Thank you. Fine. Thank you, guys. See, guys, here, right, for each sprint we need to connect with the client to get the feedback, guys. For each sprint, once sprint is completed, we need to give the demo to the client and we need to get the feedback from the client. Customer satisfaction is most important to run our business successfully. In the waterfall model, there is no customer satisfaction. We are not taking feedback from the client in waterfall model. But in Agile, for every stage, we are taking the feedback from the client, guys. Right here, customer satisfaction is very high in Agile methodology. Right, this one is not available in waterfall methodology. Understood, guys? Is it clear? In waterfall methodology, what we don't have, in Agile methodology, what we have. Is it clear? Is it clear, guys? In waterfall project, release is single shot, guys. Right? Whether it is 100 requirements or 1000 requirements, whatever it. In waterfall model, all 100 requirements will go in single shot. All 1000 requirements we will release in single shot in waterfall methodology. Guys, tell me, 1000 requirements at a time I deliver to the client. If a client is not happy with that, if a client is not satisfied with that, what is the situation? What is the position, guys? 1000 requirements we have completed. It took around 2 years or 3 years of time to complete 1000 requirements. And after 3 years, we are delivering the client. Right, in middle, in between, client is not visited. Right, if I give the demo at the end, if client is not happy, client satisfaction is not there. So then, what is the situation? Time waste and money waste. In waterfall methodology, client satisfaction is very less, guys. But coming to Agile methodology, client satisfaction very high. Why? Because client is involving in every stage. For each sprint, client is verifying. Client is checking each sprint wise. If there is any suggestions, client is suggesting those changes in each sprint wise, and we are implementing those changes at here. So that's why client is more happy with this Agile methodology approach. Understood, guys? Right, guys. In interview, if they ask what is sprint planning, in interview, if they ask what is sprint planning, what answer you guys will give? The process of delivering the project into multiple phases is called as sprint planning. The process of delivering the project into the process of dividing the process of dividing the project into multiple phases is called as sprint planning. The process of dividing the project into multiple phases is called as sprint planning. Now tell me guys, what is a sprint? What is a sprint, guys? What is a sprint? Sprint is nothing but a set of goals. Sprint is nothing but set of goals. Sprint is nothing but set of goals, guys. Sprint is nothing but set of goals. In the first sprint, I want to deliver 30 requirements. In the first sprint, I want to deliver 30 goals. Very good. The set of requirements or set of goals, both are same. Sprint is nothing but set of goals or set of requirements, we can say, guys. Right? So the requirements are called, right? The requirements are called as what, guys? The requirements are called as what, guys? Stories. In the company, right, guys? In the companies, we will call the requirements, we will call it as stories, guys. Stories we will call. Story is nothing but what, guys? Story is nothing but what? Story is nothing but a task. Story is nothing but a task, guys. Please have a look into this. What is a sprint? First, tell me what is sprint planning. The process of dividing the project into multiple phases is called as sprint planning. What is a sprint, guys? Sprint is nothing but set of requirements. Right? What is the requirement? The requirements are called as stories. What is the story? Story is nothing but a task. Understood, guys? Story is nothing but a task. "30 stories, right? 30 in each first sprint, 30 requirements are there." Means what? In first sprint, we are going to deliver 30 stories. In second sprint, 35 requirements are there. Means what? In second sprint, we are going to deliver 35 stories. Next, in third sprint, right, 35 requirements are there. Means what? In third sprint, we are going to deliver 35 stories. Requirement is called as what? Story. Requirement is called as what? Story. Story is nothing but what? A task. Right? Sprint is nothing but what? Goals. The requirements are called as stories. Story is nothing but what? Task. Is this clear, guys? We have total 3 sprints and all 100 requirements we divided into 3 sprints. In first sprint, we have 30 stories. In second sprint, we have 35 stories. In third sprint, we have 35 stories. Is it clear? Guys, in the companies, when we are going to work with Agile process, we should know some terminology, guys. We should have some idea on terminology. What terminology? We will call it as Agile terminology. That terminology is very, very important, guys. Agile terminology is very, very important. So first one, right, people will call it as, 1 minute, Agile terminology. What Agile terminology is there? What Agile terminology is there? Right, backlog grooming. Backlog grooming. What is backlog grooming, guys? What is this backlog grooming? What is this backlog grooming? Anyone? Any working people are there? Please respond. What is backlog grooming? Right. It is a team meeting, guys. It is a team meeting. Why that team meeting is required? To identify the pending tasks. To identify the pending tasks. So what is backlog grooming, guys? It is a team meeting we need to conduct to identify the pending tasks, guys. Right, backlog grooming is nothing but what? Team meeting to identify the pending tasks. What pending stories are there? We need to identify in this backlog grooming, guys. In backlog grooming, we need to identify all the pending tasks. For that, right, one meeting we need to set up. Right, who will involve in this meeting? Right, when we are working with Agile methodology, all the people will involve, guys. All the team members, developers, testers, DevOps engineers, all the people will involve in the Agile meetings. But in waterfall, not like that, guys. In Agile meeting, every team member should participate. Right, all together will sit and they will identify the pending stories in backlog grooming sessions. You guys will get some notification. You guys will get mail. Tomorrow evening, we have backlog grooming session. So every team member should attend for that backlog grooming session. Tomorrow, right, tomorrow once you guys are joined in the company, if you are not clear about the stories, if you are not clear about the task, right, so they will explain everything in backlog grooming session only. What is the backlog? Right, what we need to do for this backlog? Everything we need to discuss in the backlog grooming session. Here, guys, what is backlog grooming? It is a team meeting to identify all the pending tasks. Next terminology, right, stories. Stories, guys. What is the stories? Stories are nothing but what? Task. Stories are nothing but what, guys? Task. On which task we need to work. Right, each sprint, 30 requirements are there. Each requirement is one story. Each story is one task. Story is nothing but what? Task which we need to work, guys. Task which we need to work. Right. So next one is story points. Story points. What is the story points, guys? Story points is nothing but duration to complete the story, guys. The duration to complete the story is called as story points. Duration to complete the story. Story points are nothing but what? Duration to complete the story. Guys, whenever a task is, a story is assigned on your name, they will give some story points also. Right, generally in the companies, they will give the story points like this, guys. They will give the story points like this. How they will give? See here, 3 points they will give. 3 points. 3 points they will give. 3 points means we need to complete 3 points story in 1 day. In 1 day we need to finish, guys. The duration for this 3 points story is only 1 day. 1 day means what? Not 24 hours. It is 8 hours. Right? As per our company time is within 8 hours we need to complete this story. 3 points story means we need to finish it in 1 day. Right? Sometimes they will give the 5 points to the story. 5 points to the story. 5 points means 5 points story we need to complete in 2 days. 5 points story we need to complete in 2 days. Right? So they will give 8 points. 8 points. 8 points story we need to complete in 3 days. 3 days. Like that. They will give the story points, guys. Story points is nothing but what? Duration to complete the story. Story points is nothing but what? Duration to complete the story. Duration to complete the story, guys. Guys, backlog grooming. What is this backlog grooming? Backlog grooming is nothing but a team meeting to identify the pending stories. What is the story? Story is nothing but a task which we need to work. Story points means what? Duration to complete the story. Duration to complete the story. 3 points story, 5 points story, 8 points story. 3 points story we need to finish in 1 day. 5 points story we need to finish in 2 days. 8 points story we need to finish in 3 days. Next one is sprint planning. Sprint planning. Sprint planning. What is the sprint planning? Sprint planning also team meeting only. Right here we will identify the priority stories to work. What is the high priority story we need to identify it here, and first we need to work on that. Sprint planning is nothing but what? Team meeting to identify the priority of the works. It is also team meeting to identify the priority of the work. Priority of the work, guys. To identify the priority stories to work. To identify the priority stories to work. Right, guys? What is sprint planning? It is a team meeting. Here we will identify the priority stories to work, guys. Priority stories to work. Okay, guys, you guys should be strong on this agile terminology. When we are working with agile process, this terminology frequently we will use in the companies. We will use this terminology frequently in the companies when we are working with this agile process. Backlog grooming is there, stories is there, story points is there, sprint planning is there. Sprint planning. What other terminologies we should know? Sprint. Sprint. What is a sprint? Sprint is nothing but a process. It is a process, guys. Sprint is nothing but it is a process. It is a process. Sprint is nothing but a process. Right. Daily team meetings to discuss work status, guys. Right here in sorry sprint, right? We are talking sprint, right? Okay. So sprint is nothing but what? 1 minute. Not sprint, guys. Here Scrum. Scrum. Scrum, guys. What is a Scrum? Scrum is nothing but a process. Daily, either morning time or evening time, 15 to 20 minutes, they will conduct one meeting, guys. So daily 15 to 20 minutes, they will conduct one team meeting. There we will discuss what we did in yesterday. What we did yesterday and what we are going to do today. Right? What part we completed, how much part we completed in yesterday, how much part we are going to work today. Right? Is there any blockers? Everything we will discuss in the Scrum meetings. Scrum is nothing but what? It is a process. Daily 15 to 20 minutes. Right? Work status meeting, guys. That is, we will call it a status meeting. There we will discuss, see, every day morning, right? In my company, morning at 11 o'clock, we have the stand-up status meeting, Scrum meeting, guys. There what we will discuss, right? What we did in yesterday, what we completed in yesterday, what we are going to work today. So that everything we will discuss in the Scrum meeting, right? Approximately, this Scrum meeting will be 15 to 20 minutes only. We won't put 1 hour, 2 hour like that, guys. High level, just quickly we need to discuss what we completed yesterday and what we are going to work today in the Scrum meeting. Right? It is a process. Daily team meeting. The entire team need to discuss about the work status, guys. Alright. So next one is sprint. Sprint. Here let me take sprint. What is the sprint? Set of stories to complete, guys. Set of requirements or stories. Set of stories to complete. Set of stories to complete. Sprint is nothing but set of stories to complete, guys. Right? So what is the duration of the sprint? Sprint duration. Sprint duration. What is the duration of the sprint? Right? Sprint duration, guys. Maximum in most of the companies, the sprint duration is 2 weeks, guys. 2 weeks. 2 weeks means 10 working days. 2 weeks means 10 working days, 2 to 3 weeks. You can say 2 to 3 weeks, guys. Right? If it is right, if we have less number of requirements, right, within 2 weeks we need to complete. If we have more requirements, then it will go for third week also. The maximum is 3 weeks, guys. Minimum is 2 weeks. The sprint duration 2 to 3 weeks, guys. Based on our requirements, 2 to 3 weeks the sprint duration. Okay. What is a sprint, guys? Set of stories to complete. Sprint duration 2 to 3 weeks maximum. Scrum is nothing but what? It is a process. Daily Scrum meeting will be happen, guys. In the companies, daily Scrum meeting will happen. In that Scrum meeting, all the team members will participate. All the team members will discuss what we did yesterday and what we are going to today. Everything they will discuss in the Scrum meetings. If there is any blockers, right, they will discuss that blockers also in the Scrum meetings itself. Right, guys. Next one is retrospective. Retrospective. What is this retrospective meetings? What we will do in retrospective meetings? Retrospective meeting is nothing but review meeting after sprint completed. After sprint is completed, guys, today is the last day for the sprint. Sprint is completed. We need to conduct this retrospective meeting. In this retrospective meeting, what we need to discuss? What went well in this sprint? What went well in this sprint? What went wrong in this sprint? What are the achievements in the sprint? What are the improvements in this sprint? Right? So what any new ideas? Right, for a new sprint, another sprint, everything we need to discuss it here. What went well in the last sprint? After sprint completed, we need to conduct retrospective meeting. There we need to discuss what we completed successfully. What went well in the last sprint? What went wrong in the last sprint? Right? Is there any new ideas for the next sprint? Everything we need to discuss in the retrospective meetings. Review meeting, we can say it is review meeting. It is a review meeting after sprint completed. After sprint completed. Retrospective meeting is nothing but what? Review meeting after sprint completed. Here what we will discuss? We will discuss in the last sprint what went well, what went wrong, any improvements, any achievements, everything we need to discuss in the retrospective meeting. Retrospective meeting is the last one, guys. Last one. First one is backlog grooming. Here only in the current sprint, right, what stories we need to work. Right, what stories are pending for the next sprint? Everything we need to discuss in the backlog grooming. First here we need to identify the pending task and we need to put those stories in the current sprint, guys. Right? So next is stories. Stories are nothing but what? Task to work. Story points. Duration to complete the story. 8 points we need to give like this. 3 points, 5 points, 8 points like this we need to give. Right? Sprint planning. Right, sprint planning means what? Team meeting to identify the priority stories to work. Sprint is nothing but what? Set of stories to complete. Sprint duration means what? Maximum the duration of the sprint is 2 to 3 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks, guys. What is a Scrum? It is a process. It is in Scrum, every day 15 to 20 minutes, all the team members will connect to one place and they will discuss about the work, guys. What we did yesterday, what we are going to today, everything they will discuss in the Scrum meeting. Next one is retrospective meeting. In this retrospective meeting is nothing but what? Review meeting. When we will conduct this retrospective meeting after sprint is completed. Right? Today's sprint is completed. Right? So today's sprint is completed. Tomorrow we will conduct one retrospective meeting. There we will discuss what went well in the last sprint. Right? What problems we faced in the last sprint. What things we achieved in the last sprint. What challenges we faced in the last sprint. Everything we will discuss in the retrospective meeting. Understood, guys? This terminology is very, very important when you are working with Agile methodology, guys. When you are working in the Agile methodology, these terms daily we will use in the companies. Is it clear, guys? Please have a look into this terminology. Please go through this terminology once. Yes, I will send. I will send the notes, guys. Clear? All this terminology is clear? Guys, in Agile methodology, every Friday, some fun games, fun activities also they will conduct, guys. Right? Otherwise, people will get tired, right? So that's why every Friday in the companies they will conduct some fun activities also. Right? You can share your ideas, guys. You can share your ideas in this retrospective meeting. If you have any new ideas, you can share all those ideas also in this retrospective meetings. To balance the work, to complete the work successfully, whatever the ideas you have, you can share your ideas based on your previous company experiences. You can share all your ideas in your retrospective meetings. Clear, guys? Right, guys? Here in Agile team members, guys, right, who involving in this Agile process? Agile team members means Agile team members. See, guys, right, in Agile team, right, product owner will be involved. Product owner will be involved. Scrum master will be involved. Technical leads. Technical leads will be involved. Right. Team members will be involved. Team members will be involved. All these people will involve, guys. Who is product owner? What is the responsibility of the product owner? Responsibility of the product owner. Product owner is responsible for the deliverables. Deliverables, guys. Right. We need to deliver the requirements to the client. That deliverables will be taken care by the product owner. What is the responsibility of the product owner? Deliverables. Deliverables. Deliverables, guys. The responsibility of the product owner is deliverables. Scrum master responsibility, who will manage the Agile teams. Scrum master only will manage entire Agile team. Agile team will be managed by the Scrum master only. Agile team Agile team will be managed by the Scrum Master only. Scrum Master. Technical lead guide. Senior team members, guys. Who will help team members technically? Technical leads means what? Senior team members. Senior team members. Right? Who will help to team members technically? Who will help to team members technically? Right? Those people we will call it as technical leads. Team members means developers, testers, all these people we will call it as team members, guys. Have a look into this. What is the responsibility of the product owner? All these are in interview. If they ask in agile process, right? So in what is the right? What people will involve in the agile process? All these people will involve in agile process. Product owner will involve, scrum masters will involve, technical leads, team members, all will involve in the agile process. What is the responsibility of the product owner? Deliverables. The responsibility of the product owner is delivering the requirements to the client. Delivering the requirements to the clients. DevOps engineers also, guys. Everyone will involve. Right? So next, Scrum Master means Agile team will be managed by the Scrum Master only. Technical leads, senior team members here, etc. All the people will come, etc. etc. Team members means developers, testers, etc. All the people will come under team member. Clear, guys? Right? So now tell me, guys, which one is more comfortable to the clients? Waterfall methodology or agile methodology? Agile methodology or waterfall methodology, guys? Right? We have so many limitations are there in the waterfall methodology. To overcome that limitations, agile methodology is came into the picture. Right? We have so many advantages with this agile methodology. We can deliver the project quickly if you go with this agile methodology. Easily and quickly we can deliver the requirements to the client. And how we are delivering the requirements quickly to the client in agile methodology? In agile, we are not delivering all requirements at a time. We are not delivering all requirements in single shot in agile methodology. We are dividing the requirements into multiple sprints. Sprints wise we are releasing. Sprints wise we are releasing at here. One sprint, right, is nothing but one release. One sprint is nothing but one release, guys. Right, each sprint, right, we will put some, right, priority wise, guys. First we will divide the requirement and the priority wise we will plan the sprint, guys. Whatever the topmost priority stories are there, we will put those stories in the sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3, like that we will divide and the sprints wise we will release. What is the duration of the sprint? Maximum 2 to 3 weeks. Maximum 2 to 3 weeks is the sprint duration, right? This terminology is very, very important, guys. When you are going to join as experienced people, this terminology is very, very important. Right? Don't put blank faces. If anybody, right, sprint will create manually only, guys. Sprint will create, all the team members will sit and they will discuss and they will create the sprints manually. Manual only, all the team members will sit and discuss the high priority stories and the pending stories they will discuss. According that they will prepare the sprints. Client is not going to divide, guys. Right, client right here, all our team members. Sometimes client people also will involve in that. Backlog grooming is, backlog is nothing but story only. Backlog is nothing but what? One story. Backlog grooming, what we are doing here, only we are deciding what pending stories are available. We will put those pending stories in the sprint. Right here, whatever the pending stories we identified, with those pending stories only we are preparing the sprint. First, in backlog grooming, we will discuss what pending stories are there. Right, in that pending stories, right, what are the high priority stories are there? Everything we will discuss at here. Right, whatever the pending stories we identified in this backlog grooming meetings, right, with those pending stories, we will prepare the sprint. Right, backlog grooming also manually only, guys. All our team members only will sit and will discuss what pending, what is the requirement. In that requirements, what pending stories are there. Everything we will discuss in the backlog grooming. Is it clear? Right, guys. So with this, we completed this. What is waterfall methodology? What is SDLC? What is Agile methodology? Right? What is the DevOps? All these things we completed. Right. So next, guys, already I have given the number, right? I think you guys have. I think you guys have the number. And whoever interested to continue with this, right, please drop a message to that number. Right, next class, whoever make the payment and whoever discussed, right, for those people only, I will take the class in next session. Okay, so next session, I'm going to start the from Monday onwards. I will start the Linux, guys. From Monday onwards, I'm going to start the Linux. Right, who wants to continue with this? Please just drop a message to that number. Okay. Okay, guys. And guys, I'm recording everything. Once it is finalized, I will share the records. Here, everything I'm recording. Don't worry. Notes also I will share. Notes and recordings, everything I will share. Okay? Okay, guys. Whoever interested, please drop a message to that number. We will discuss. Okay. Thank you, guys. Number 6362345870. 6362345870. Drop WhatsApp message to this number 6362345870. 6362345870. Whoever have the interest, please drop a WhatsApp message to this number. Okay, guys, right? We will continue next session. Thank you, guys. Good night.
Record.